What has been your favorite, most rewarding project that you've done to date so far?
The bathroom. Yeah. Yeah, that darn bathroom.
Yeah.
It was our guest bathroom, and after I finished it, I
So
told
not
my
even your own bathroom that you use
no,
every day.
no. And you know what's funny? We could use this bathroom every day, but I'm like, it's so beautiful. Don't even use it. Which
Yeah.
is like the sad part. No, but after I finished that project, I did tell my husband, I was like, you better like our bathroom because I'm not doing another bathroom for a long time. Like, but it was so rewarding because it was the
Hmm.
first project I've done where I ripped everything out. I ripped that bathroom
Yeah.
down to the studs. Like everything in that bathroom is brand new and curated and designed and literally made by me. And so that
Yeah.
was a very proud project for me.
From the Sarah Smiles Network, I'm Sarah Smiles, and this is the Consider the Source podcast, a show about women who've built ideas, movements, and careers by questioning the status quo and challenging norms. Hey, Kelly, how's it going?
Sarah, good. How are you?
Good. I just have a fly flying around my room, which I feel like has been in here for like 2 days, which I thought that was the average lifespan of a fly. So I thought it would be dead by now, but it's not.
That's hilarious. I feel you. We have like our doors open like all summer and there's constant flies.
Yeah, I'm just like, guys, are we really living that long nowadays? I thought that we were maybe living for less long. Things are
Time to
now.
go.
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, Kelly, thanks so much for coming on. I would love for you to introduce yourself and what your business slash passion project is.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Kelley Waterfall. My business passion project name is Waterfall Woodworking, and I basically do a bunch of DIY and home renovation projects on social media. So right now I'm renovating our entire house.
Oh my gosh, which not a small undertaking, not a small undertaking.
No, it's not at all. It's a very large commitment, but it's been fun.
Yeah, and was woodworking something that you taught yourself how to do? Is it something that someone else had taught you how to do? Because I feel like you don't hear of many women doing woodworking.
Yeah, I taught myself how to do this back in 2020. It was a
Mhm.
COVID hobby that I picked up.
Yeah.
We had bought our first house in Michigan in 2020, and I really wanted a very specific dining table. And dining tables are very expensive, if you didn't know. And so I was like, I'm not paying that much. And I was like, then I went down a huge rabbit hole on YouTube of seeing if I could build this dining table myself. And the answer was yes. So.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I see all of these pieces on Restoration Hardware and like other bougie places that I don't even know the names of, like West Elm and other places that are just so egregiously expensive. Yes, it is real wood, unlike IKEA, which is just like plastic wood, but real wood really isn't that expensive. And I have been seeing people like figure out how to make dupes of these very, very expensive pieces with just like local wood from a lumber yard.
Yep, exactly. And you can save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars by doing it yourself. Granted, it is time and energy and figuring
Yeah.
it out, but I truly believe like anyone can do it.
Yeah. So, how much money do you think that you have saved with the amount of DIY projects that you've done and DIY furniture that you've created versus like actually hiring someone or buying something off the shelf?
Like tens of thousands of dollars
Really?
probably. Yeah, I mean, I just did our bathroom for the first time. I did our guest bath and I spent I think around 7,000 on it, but a
Hmm.
contractor would have cost 20 to 30,000.
Wow.
So,
Wait, so did you have to teach yourself plumbing as well?
yes, I also taught myself plumbing.
Okay. Trade school who?
Yeah, yeah. So the internet is a great tool. You can truly learn how to do just about anything on YouTube with like the proper research and I spend a lot of time researching before I do my projects. I don't just like guess, especially with plumbing. So
Yeah. That's a
yeah,
scary
but
thing, like to have a video pulled up while you're doing something of like, well, I mean, I thought I knew what I was doing, but I guess I'm gonna have to watch a video on what this thing is.
yep, yeah, like when I decided, because I got a quote for the plumbing and it was like 3 grand. And I was like, okay. And my friends had done plumbing themselves at their house. And I was like, well,
Hmm.
I might as well look into it. So I spent probably like 3 weeks researching how to do the plumbing.
Wow.
but I
Okay,
saved three
so
grand.
yeah, I mean, obviously worth the labor, but what do you do to plan for like, okay, I'm just gonna search up plumbing in a bathroom. Like there's so many different plumbing outlets. You have the sink, you have the toilet, you have the shower, and you know you don't want all of those combining. You know you want all of them very, very separate. So
Yeah.
what does research even for some projects look like?
It's it's a lot. It's like going into it, I'll have a night. Like the plumbing was a surprise. It was like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't intend to do that myself, and then I was like, all right, because I started researching it and realized,
Mm-hmm.
okay, maybe I can do this myself. So the research is it's a lot. I spend weeks and weeks and weeks researching before I do most of my projects just to make sure,
Mm-hmm.
well, one, style and design is aligned with what I want, and then two, if there's new things that I am learning along the way that I know how to do those things. I typically won't touch anything unless I'm very confident that I will get it right. So
Yeah.
I do have that mindset about myself is I'm definitely not trying to mess up my home.
Yeah, that's the goal because then you'll end up spending more than you would have initially
Yeah,
spent trying to get it done. Yeah, I could
exactly.
see the idea of trying to avoid that. But obviously, there's trials and tribulations with any engineering or home improvement process. Like, what is the project that you were like, why did I get started on this? Maybe I did something too soon. Maybe I thought I was more ready than I actually am. Did you have any projects like that where you're like, this was a complete bust?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mistakes happen along the way. And that's what I like to share on my social media is that, like, it doesn't go perfectly and it is, like, usually a longer and harder road than you think. Like, I like to keep it very real. So, the
Mm-hmm.
bathroom I was just talking about, before I decided to do the plumbing, I unscrewed something, not knowing what it was, and flooded my house. So,
Oh,
yes. So, like, I was touching the plumbing. I hadn't done any research. I thought I knew what I was unscrewing, and it just did not occur in my brain that I should not have been touching this piece of plumbing.
mm,
And water was shooting like 5 feet in the air like a geyser. I was like screaming for my husband. He was on like a work meeting. And water like literally leaked through to the first floor of our house. Yeah, we had to call the
wow.
water remediation company. Yeah, it like soaked all the surrounding carpet. So it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And then after that, I still decided to do the plumbing myself. So, but mistakes happen. Like it is what it
Yeah.
is. They're unavoidable when I think you do this line of work. And I'm not like a trades person. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not professionally trained. It's my house, so I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay if that happens.
Yeah.
But I laugh. I was laughing when it happened, and I laugh about it today because it's just kind of par for the course when you're doing this kind of work.
Right. Yeah. So you're saying that you're not a tradesperson, but to me it sounds like you're a tradesperson. What is your background in?
I guess my background is in journalism. Actually, that's what I graduated with my degree in,
Okay.
which is why I love content creation so much. But then I worked in
Mm-hmm.
advertising for about 10 years. So
Which is very, very different than trade work. Like,
yeah.
how did you make that transition? You were just like, okay, I'm gonna make this table, and then all of a sudden making a table turned into tearing apart your bathroom and exploding a new water feature into your home?
Pretty much, yeah. Like after I built that first dining table, which my family thought I was crazy for doing so because like I'm terrified of like hurting myself. Like I've never picked up a power tool in my life until 2020. And so
Yeah.
everyone was like, you're doing what? And so yeah, it really just clicked something in my brain and I was like, wait, this is really fun. And so then it just like spiraled from there. So then I was like selling dining tables for a while, actually, like locally. And then I would
Wow.
do local art fairs because I was making like cutting boards and charcuterie boards and doing
Mm-hmm.
like work with epoxy and stuff. But that really wasn't sustainable long term because I was
Yeah.
working full time and it was like I would be working on cutting boards till like midnight, like in my
Ooh.
garage. Like it was too much with working full time. And so then when we moved out to Colorado, and we were lucky enough to buy like a very blank slate home here. I was like, I just want to renovate the house. And
Mm-hmm.
so it started with very small projects and then they gradually got bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And so, can I ask, were the profit margins on cutting boards so great for you to be like, yep, this is it. I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to pursue this full time?
No, definitely not. No, there were probably zero profit margins on the cutting boards because I probably lost money. In all honesty, I did it for fun because I enjoyed doing it. But
Hmm.
realistically, to charge what I would have needed to charge, I don't think people would buy them. And that's why you do see, like, if you go to markets, you'll see cutting boards cost like $200. And I do believe, yeah, like that's like if you want like a real wood, really good cutting board, that's how much they cost. But I didn't want to charge that because I wanted people to be able to buy my product.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, it's expensive, but no, actually did not quit my job. I lost my job a few months ago.
Oh no, I'm
And so
sorry.
it's
Or I'm
okay.
excited.
I was very excited. So
Well, congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. Yes. I did not like my job. It was a very toxic work environment.
Hmm.
So I was happy to be on my way out. But when I lost my job, my husband and I just kind of sat down and I was like, I've been wanting to give this a try full time for 5 years now. And so
Yeah.
we were like, it just felt like the right time for me to kind of give it 100%.
Yeah. And so what really changes between, okay, this is what I was doing with my full-time job and this is what I've been able to put out. Obviously, the cutting board thing was a sunk cost, but it you've transitioned into this whole realm of home renovations. And what does the day-to-day look like from, okay, I'm working this full-time job, I'm not able to do 100% to this is 100%.
Yeah, it was harder than I thought it would be. I've been thinking about this, like I said, for 5 years of doing this 100%. So last year I was only able to complete a handful of projects in my house because I was working full time. I think I did like three or four house projects, which for me like isn't a lot. And so then this year being able to just fully dive in. Every day is different. Like I spend a lot of time editing content, editing my
Hmm.
videos takes a lot of time. I'm constantly reaching out to brands to try and get partnerships, keeping up with, all the trends of social media,
Yeah.
and then actually working on the projects themselves as well as researching my future projects. So the first project I did, like I started a week after I lost my job, was that bathroom, and that took
Hmm.
about 3 months.
Wow.
So I felt like that was a good time for a first timer to do a bathroom. Some
Yeah.
of my friends redid their bathroom and they do work full time. It took them 9 months. So you can kind of see
Hmm.
like the difference of being able to commit yourself 100% of the time to be able to do these
Hmm.
projects that, I can get a lot more done. So I'm really thankful that I get to try and do this.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it is no small feat to do research about what you're going to be working on. It's no small feat to actually do the work, which are the things that you're most interested in doing. The
hmm
part that is just an added bonus that you try and want to get your work out there is the social media aspect, right? So, like, this is an additional fruit of your labor that you're trying to put time towards and get people to recognize your work and what you do. But that takes a lot of time. Sometimes just as much, if not more time than the actual labor that you enjoy doing or the labor that you're trying to promote. How do you schedule your time, because that's a variety of activities, but also a lot of time consuming activities.
Yeah, it is a lot of time consuming activities. I don't have a schedule or anything. I post every day, so I edit my videos every day. I unfortunately right now don't have like a backlog of it, so I'll usually spend a couple hours editing videos every day and then a couple hours doing my projects every day. And then anytime
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really doing either of those things, I'm usually researching something for my next project or for the current project I'm working on. But yeah, it is a lot of labor intensive work. And, the more and more people who start creating content, they then start recognizing, like, oh, this is kind of like a lot of work to edit these videos and to do
Oh yeah.
voiceovers and to like put it all together. And then, like I said, staying on top of the trends of social media is like a whole thing. But I've
Mm-hmm.
always loved content creation. Like I mentioned, I went to school for journalism. So it's been something I've been passionate about for a very long time. So I'm really glad that I get to like weave these two passions of my life together.
Yeah. And while you're saying that you went to school for journalism, and when I think of content creation, my brain doesn't immediately go to journalism. So talk me through how that correlation works.
Yeah, so I wanted to be an on-air TV reporter, and I did very little of that after college.
Hmm.
But when you're a entry, I mean, sometimes even all the way through your journalism career, but when you're an entry-level journalist, you're doing everything yourself. So you're out there with the camera, filming
Okay.
yourself, filming your news stories, and then you're editing the videos together to then air on the television essentially on your like local news
Wow.
channel. So like a lot of news stories you see, it's like a one person show doing that. And so I've been doing that for a long time. Like I think I learned how to
Yeah.
edit videos at like 15. And so it's like always been a passion of mine. So I love that I get to
Yeah.
like do that now on social media because that was really was my original like life plan, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's something that I had never taken the time to think and really realize is that there is so much behind the scenes effort that goes behind just being a journalist. I had always just thought like a journalist that you see on a news reporting source, they have a camera crew, they have a teleprompter in front of them of what they're reading, but that totally makes sense. Like, obviously, someone is doing the work to put the teleprompter together. But I mean, when you're out in the field on your own, yeah, that makes so
Yeah.
much sense. It's just
Yeah.
you.
A lot of people don't know that, and even like in my early stages of school, I didn't completely know that either. But yeah, a lot of times right out of college and first couple years, and even further into your career, it's you doing the whole thing yourself. So
Wow. Okay. So then this is obviously not a foreign concept to you at all. You're like, oh, just another day in the life.
no, which I'm really glad I have that background in all honesty, because in this
Hmm.
like day and age of social media where it's so prominent and like if you have a business, you know, you kind of need to be on social media. Like, so I'm very glad I have that background and knowledge of how to do those things with videos.
Yeah. And I mean, there's obviously a lot of growth potential that comes with building a business through social media. But what do you foresee happening with your business? Like, do you want to start doing other people's home renovations, or do you just want to be the face of home renovations that people are like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to go and watch Kelley? Like, Kelley knows what she's doing, and kind of be like, who is that? Tim Allen on Home Improvements, or whoever that was?
Yeah, no, I would love people to like if they're doing a home renovation project, be like, "Oh, I know Kelly does that. I'm gonna go check out her social medias." Yeah, because that's I mean, I do like I'll do my friends' houses and families' houses. Like if people know me personally, I'm always willing to help. Or even like people who message me online, I'm always willing to help anyone. But my main
Hmm.
goal in this is one, I love doing it, but two, I want people to know that they can do it too. And especially women. Like this is not a women dominated field by any means. And I just
Right.
really want people to know that with some research and like if you want to do it, you 100% can.
Yeah. And I mean, you could also lay the groundwork of like, here's a workshop or like a program or a master class on how to redo your bathroom or how to make a dining room table. Like, that would be something I would definitely purchase because I'm an engineer, but I don't really know how to use power tools, which seems
Yeah,
kind of backwards. But it's like I know that I'm
that is
capable
funny.
of doing something and I do enjoy a good DIY. So I feel like there's so many women that are also like that.
Yeah, there are so many out there. I mean, I get, you know, comments and messages all the time from people, you know, asking for details. Or an old coworker of mine actually just recently was messaging me about a project I did, and I was like, please do it. I believe you can do it. A couple weeks later, she messaged me and she's like, thank you so much for encouraging me to do it. Here's how it turned out. Like, and she's so happy with it. And I'm like, that's why I do this. Like, I just
Yeah.
genuinely love that people can because that's what I did. I learned from people online, and I hope to be that for other people.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely just giving back to a community that's already given to you, but having it all centralized in one spot of like, okay, Kelly's working on her bathroom renovation. I'm gonna go to this video pod and just take a look at all of the videos that she's created on this bathroom renovation.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's why I like to be very real on social media too, because the videos they're like they're not sexy, they're not super fun sometimes. Like it is boring work
Hmm.
sometimes. Like, but
Yeah.
like I put that out there because like people, if someone did want to follow along and do it themselves, like you need to know what you're signing up for. It's not all fun and just slapping tiles on the wall. I feel like you see a lot of that,
Yeah.
especially you see a lot of the final product and like, ooh, here's the
Hmm.
fun part, but there's like a lot of work to get to those fun parts.
Right. The classic before and after of like just this snap and
Right.
it's done.
Right. It is not like that. There is a lot of detailed work that goes into it. And so like I want to share that side of it, like because there's a very real side of it too.
Yeah, obviously. And it seems like it's such a fortunate thing that you were able to take on this job opportunity, if you will, or new occasion because of the loss of a job. But I feel like there are so many people that would take that as an opportunity to kind of mourn the loss of stability and mourn the loss of a recurring paycheck. Like, how do you now function and operate knowing that, okay, I have to prove myself to be self sufficient?
Yeah, it can be a little daunting,
Mm-hmm.
especially, with the online like changes that happen every day and just like, where social media stands. It's a weird space to keep up with. I'm super fortunate that my husband, was comfortable with allowing me to do this and,
Mm-hmm.
we kind of like gave ourselves like a time frame, like we'll see if how it's going between here and whatnot. But, I'm really lucky that I have that opportunity to do this. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's been a work in progress for 5 years. So
Yeah.
so I'm hopeful that it'll continue to work out.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're in a path of the right direction of this is something that you're confident in doing, that you're passionate about, and these are all the recipes for how to become successful in business. My question then is, so you have this idea or this mindset of I'm going to allow myself X amount of time to figure this out. Like, what are the benchmarks that you're really measuring yourself against? Because I feel like while you want something to be successful, you also have that devil on your shoulder of being like, okay, well, what if I don't do this? And what if I can't have rent or what, not that I can't have rent, what if I can't pay my mortgage or what if I can't
Totally.
buy groceries? Like, what are the things that you're really taking into consideration while making this big change?
Yeah, 100%. So it's a lot of like looking because if, making income is from social media. So it's a lot of keeping
Mm-hmm.
an eye on my social medias, like how are those performing? Like is there stable growth? Like what do I need to do to change to ensure like those are performing well? Because that's really how people make money nowadays, especially, right, is like social media. And
Right.
so then like I said, like I'm constantly reaching out to brands on my projects. So, I kind of look at the projects that I have and plan for those, and then I'm reaching out to brands to try and work with them. And so sometimes it is just like an exchange of product for video, which is great because that saves a lot of money. And then sometimes it's
Yeah.
payment and stuff like that. So like that's kind of what I'm measuring in terms of like how this is
Mm-hmm.
working out is like where the growth is, and then
Yeah.
are there paid opportunities coming my way as well.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like that is also a huge aspect with content creation is the reach out of, okay, how am I going to grow with brands? And what does that typically look like for you? And how did you first begin doing that?
I started reaching out to brands like a couple years ago, pretty early on. A lot of brands would offer to send free product, and so I'd make a video in exchange for free product. So I've done
Mm-hmm.
that over the years, and then nowadays it's more so again like looking at my like when I was looking at my shower renovation. I ended up reaching out to a shower door company. Again, not super fun and exciting, but they sent me a
Yeah.
shower door that cost like $2,000 in exchange for
Wow.
content. So it's like, I was saving money on that aspect of the project in
Mm-hmm.
exchange for content. And so I love doing things like that because I think there's some, and it's especially if it's a product I stand by, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
very strict with that. Like I have to stand by the products if I'm going to promote them, obviously. But like I always reach out to brands, I'm doing our home gym right now. And so I reached
Hmm.
out to gym companies, I reached out to paint companies for the walls, like I reached out to
Yeah.
flooring companies for the floors. So it's just like, where can I maximize like growth potential, but then like income as well.
Yeah. And so when you're reaching out, you're like, "Hi, my name's Kelly. I
Yep.
do DIY projects." Like, what do those emails look like? Are you sending them a pitch? Are you sending them a video? Are you sending them previous content you've created?
Yeah, I always, I just introduce myself and I give a little spiel like I'm working on X, Y, and Z project. I love your product because X, Y, and Z.
Hmm.
Like I usually do mock-ups of my product projects too. So like I'll send them a mock-up of like
Mm,
what the vision is that it'll look like. Would love to discuss like collaboration opportunities. And sometimes it doesn't happen, like, and you just roll with it and like
right.
that's totally fine. Like a lot of these gym companies, they don't want to work with a DIY home renovator. They want to work with a fitness influencer. But I reached out
Right.
anyway, even if I'm told no, and I knew I was going to be told no, but you
Yeah.
know, it's always worth a shot because you never know who will say yes.
Yeah, and I feel like that's so important and is something that I like to remind myself of is you will always be the first person to tell yourself no.
Hmm.
And if you don't go the extra mile to reach out to this person that might say yes, the answer is always going to be no. It's always going to
Yep.
be no.
Yep, exactly. Yep. I had a mentor one time tell me, ask until someone tells you no. So, like that's
Yeah.
pretty much what I do is I will always ask, I will always reach out
Hmm.
to all these companies.
Yeah. And so obviously that takes some sort of like courage and bravery, but also at the same time, like there's a little bit of anonymity behind there. It's just an email. So,
Yep.
how did you grow the confidence to do that? Because I feel like that's what a lot of people, like myself included, are like, okay, well, I don't have enough of a following. I don't have enough of an audience, or like, I don't really know if this is something that they would say yes to. Like, at what point were you like, that doesn't matter, I'm just gonna go and do this anyways?
Yeah, I've always been in that headspace and I still kind of am sometimes, especially like with the whole followers and engagement thing, because that's what brands do look at. And I hate talking about it because it's like, well, it doesn't matter if you have a good product to sell, in this case, like right, myself and my content is the product, then it's always worth a shot. And so
Yeah.
it's just getting out of that mindset. And then at the end of the day, it is like, these people don't know you personally and you don't know them personally. So really, there's no harm in sending an email. And sometimes they'll never get back to you, and sometimes the answer is yes. Or if your content ends up growing over time, they might be the ones reaching out to you. And
Yeah.
so, I think it's always good to try and engage and, with your favorite brands. I've read a lot about this and I've read people who have put out like little master classes and books about this. And if you don't try, no one's ever going to say yes. If you didn't
Right.
send that one email, that email could have been a yes. And if you didn't send it, you would never know. So it's so important to just reach out and just try.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, a lot of the stories that you've been sharing so far have been success stories of how you were able to get a $2,000 shower door, or how you were able to save like $30,000 on your bathroom renovation. But overall, like there is also struggle and obstacles
Oh,
that
yeah.
come up with owning your own business and running your own business and creating this own entity. Like, what are some of the struggles that you have really run into?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, the time, it takes a lot of time to do these projects and the research, especially when working full time. Flooding my flooding my bathroom ended up costing us money because
Right.
we had to pay for the remediation. Like, mistakes like that happen. I think there's like a lot of setbacks when you're working on things like this. And then even like the social media side of things, I took a break from social media for about a year while we were renting houses out here because I couldn't do anything to a rental house. And so I took like a long break, and that really, like, unfortunately, it really hurts your engagement. When you don't
Mm-hmm.
post consistently on social media, it tanks your engagement, which is what all these brands look at. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I started doing this full time, I essentially had to build up all my social platforms again from not posting consistently for a year. And so, it's a lot of work to just like constantly think about all of that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And all those little things nowadays in the age of social media can cause like major setbacks, unfortunately, like any kind of
Right.
break you take. The algorithm doesn't like that. And so it
Right.
sounds so superficial to talk about, but when you're trying to make money on social media, it's so true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, I feel like there's so many obstacles that exist within social media itself. Like the fact that earlier this year, TikTok was almost banned. And
Yeah.
at that point in time, what were your thoughts? You're like, oh my gosh, I have this idea of how I want to have this business. I'm going to lose this stream of revenue. What's going to happen?
Yeah, so I actually was still working full time when that happened. I lost my job in March, so
Hmm.
I wasn't even really posting on TikTok at the
Yeah.
time very consistently. But that sucks. But then knowing what's happening with TikTok this year and towards the
Hmm.
end of this year with the changes they have, I'm like, oh, that really sucks because my account is now building at a more rapid rate, and like my engagement is it's steadily increasing. And then knowing it's going to still go away in the near
Yeah.
future is like,
Yeah.
darn. So it's constantly shifting. I saw someone online when they were talking about the potential new TikTok platform. It's called, I don't know if you've heard about it, it's going to be called I believe they're
Hmm.
calling it. And we're all going to have to download it. It's available supposedly in September and then fully rolled out in March of next year when TikTok will officially be shut down in the US. But someone online said jump on it because it's really only every 10 to 15 years where you get an opportunity to be front and center in a new platform. And that is
Right.
so true. If you think about it from when Instagram came out to then when TikTok came out, it was about 10 years to
Yeah.
and those first creators who were creating content on TikTok are so successful. And
Right.
so I just thought about that and I was like, what, it's a good you have to look at every like shift as like a good opportunity and just put yourself
Hmm.
out there.
Yeah. And I feel like there's so many people, women specifically, that are perfectionists. And they're like,
Hmm.
well, I don't want to start posting on TikTok because it's just going to go away.
Hmm.
And I don't want to start posting on or thinking about what I'm going to post on M because I don't have a clear business plan. I don't have a clear idea of what I want to do yet. So, what is your recommendation for people like that are like super perfectionist, super detail driven, and really at the end of the day, ultimately stand a barrier to them entering into the realm of content creation?
Yeah, so I was like the same way, and I
Mm-hmm.
just heard people online continue to say, just start posting. Start posting like you're an influencer. Start posting like your favorite influencers and the people you follow. And I think that's really important to just try it because it's kind of like reaching out to brands. If you don't try it, you're not going to know if it's going to work, you know?
Right.
And at the end of the day, if I have a video that does like really bad, I'm still proud of that video. I think we all need to practice like self-gratitude and being proud of
Yes.
ourselves. Like I'm still proud of something that I put out there. And if anything, it's a memory I have. My
Yeah.
TikTok, my Instagram, they're all great memories. I love looking back on that stuff and being like, "Oh yeah, I did that. Oh my God, I totally forgot about that." So
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like, a virtual scrapbook, if you will. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what other people think. If people are judging you, those people probably shouldn't be in your life anyway, number one. We
Yeah.
hear that all the time, right? Like, no one should be making fun of you for putting yourself out there. So, um, it's really just putting yourself out there and just giving it a try is so important. And I look like crap like on my social media. Like when I'm doing these projects, like it's like, they're hard work, like labor intensive projects. I have no makeup on. My hair is usually like a grease pit. I'm usually like sweating my butt off. Like
Mm-hmm.
and like I just had to get comfortable with being like it is what it is. That's how I look and it's fine. Like
Yeah. Exactly.
like you just at some point have to be comfortable with yourself and not worry about the perfection. And I've seen a lot of people say nowadays they rather follow people who aren't perfect because most people
Mm-hmm.
aren't perfect. And so it's
Yeah.
important to like show those imperfections.
Yeah. And I feel like what you said about showing more gratitude for yourself, I feel like it has become so immediate, that instant gratification needs to occur of, if
Mhm.
I don't, like, there was this trend on TikTok, like, if you didn't get 10,000 views within 10 minutes of you posting, delete it and post again. I'm like, for what? For who?
No.
What's going to change in 10 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. No, that is like that is the opposite of true. So, yeah,
Yeah.
horrible
It
advice.
it is it's on the same vein of all of these trends of the teamwork trend, which I do think engagement matters, but the
Mhm.
teamwork trend, the like posting 20 times a day, or posting every time you open
Yeah,
the app, or post it, and it just becomes like this whole trap of like, what person is going to say the most unhinged, out of pocket thing that you need to be doing
true.
next, that just builds this cult following that they somehow then build a following off of. And it's like, what is happening? Like, are we pyramid scheming ourselves, guys? Come on.
It's so true though. Like that is so true. And it's like just be yourself, like be who you want to be. Like create the kind of content like you want to create at the end of the day. Like, for me, on TikTok specifically, I post a lot about like my normal life. I'll post like, a day in the life type of videos. I post like we go camping and hiking every weekend. I'm posting about that because I like it, like
Yeah.
post the content you want people to know about yourself, because like that's important. At the end of the day, people want to know you. That's what social media is, and that's what I
Hmm.
always think about is why do I follow the people I follow? It's because I like them,
Yeah.
if you're just like, not being yourself, like people will see through that, in my
Right.
opinion. And so I think it's so important, yeah, not to fall into those silly little traps. Like do what works for you. It is not realistic to post 20 times a day on social media.
No, especially if it's like good quality content that you're actually proud of, rather
Yeah,
than
no.
like one-off shower thoughts, which I do find like some sort of satisfaction
Yeah.
in watching people's shower thoughts. But at the same time, like, if every single video is just that, like, come on, what are we doing?
Yeah, yeah, no, I 100% agree.
Yeah, so I feel like there is a delicate balance, and that brings me back to what you had said earlier about the constant change of social media and the trends and trying to stay on top of what's new and what's fresh. How do you manage that on top of, I'm learning how to use power tools, I'm learning how to do plumbing in a bathroom, I'm learning how to become a business owner and content creator all at the same time? Like, is this something that's just, I know you said you don't do routines, but do you wake up and you're like, okay, what's the skinny on what's going on with social media?
No, what's funny is I don't even really like seek it out. Sometimes my sisters will like tell me about a trend, but I have this horrible habit where I'm just a chronic scroller. And so in my free time, I do a lot of scrolling on social media,
Yeah.
and I just find the trends that way. They come across my feed, and if there's one I like, I don't do them all. Like, I just don't like
Hmm.
doing, like, falling into the trend trap. But
You
if
don't want
there's
to do a
one,
dance TikTok?
no, oh no, yeah, you will probably never see me doing that ever. um, only by myself with no camera rolling. But but no, like if I see a trend I like, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll do that. But yeah, I'm a
Hmm.
chronic scroller, so I just find out what's going on that way.
Yeah. I mean, that is also like a really good realm of research of, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to scroll. But at what point are you like, am I scrolling in terms of inspiration, or am I scrolling in a doom capacity? Because I feel
Yeah.
like you walk a very fickle and fine line between the two.
Oh, you do. Like I'll go on the internet or TikTok or whatever to look up something and I'll get stuck in a doom scroll. So, I do try and like pull myself out of that. I'm like, okay, Kelly, you're like doing absolutely nothing right now. Move along with your day. And I feel like a lot of people do that on social media. Like we just start, doom scrolling. But I do think it's a really powerful tool as well. Like, almost every vacation I've planned, I've found a lot of places on the internet and TikTok specifically for my
Yeah.
vacations. Obviously, like a lot of my projects I check, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. So I think it's like a great tool as well. And the doom scrolling can just be fun sometimes to disengage with life.
Yeah, dissociate, pretend things aren't
Yes.
real until
Yeah.
things on social media start showing you too much of what's happening in reality,
Yeah.
and you're like, I need to escape this reality
Then you
now.
move along. Yep. That's when you close the app and move on about your day.
Yeah, and then go and make like a sourdough loaf of bread
Yep.
and just pretend you're back in medieval times as a
Yep,
medieval peasant.
exactly. Yeah. I wish.
Yeah. That's the truth. But no, honestly, like I feel like there is so much good that does come from social media. And I feel like there are a lot of positive ways of putting yourself, like what you said, like you should not be in these circles with people that are shaming you or making fun of you for posting something that you're passionate about. So, what is your method? Because obviously, like it's easy online to be like, you're blocked, I'm done with you. Whereas in reality, it's a little bit more difficult to do that, especially if you come from a traditional family that isn't in the realm of content creation specifically. Like, this is a whole new thing that a whole new generation of people are working through and they're pioneering. And it's not something that many people understand, even if they are your same age or even younger.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand it. Like when, when we first decided that I would do this full time, and so then, I kind of told some friends about it, and some newer friends I've made. They're like, oh, okay, cool. Like everyone's very supportive about it, but
Mm-hmm.
then they don't get what I do until they see like my social media. Like a lot of people are like, so you want to be a general contractor? So like you want people to pay you to go to their houses? I'm like, no, 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 no. No, I don't want to be a general contractor. And so it is like a lot of explaining to people, and
Mm-hmm.
especially even people like our age, like don't understand like that you can make money on social media, like, people who aren't online a lot.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it has taken a lot of explaining, especially to like, parents and aunts and uncles to be like, no, like you can make money just
Yeah.
posting yourself on the internet. And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, how? And then it's a whole conversation. So I'm really lucky that like everyone's in my life is very supportive of what I do. But yeah, it is confusing for I think a group of people and to see that. And it's not super traditional at all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it is definitely something that takes a lot of explaining, takes a lot of confidence in doing, but also at the same time, I feel like with each question that you get, you really start thinking to yourself, like, oh, shoot, well, maybe that is something I should be doing. And the evil green monster of envy and comparison starts coming out and creeping over your shoulder of like, well, life would be easier if you just went back to corporate America. So how do you reassure yourself like, I'm on the right track, I'm doing the right thing, I don't need to be looking for a corporate job right now, I need to sink all my time and energy into this project?
It's a lot of self-reassurance, and I think like
Mm-hmm.
anyone who has a business or does anything like this, it's probably the same for them. It's a ton of self-reassurance of basically like you just said, like, stay on track, keep going, keep doing it, like, and then fine-tuning things. Like, every day is different, but then you have to figure out how to adapt. Like, so after I finished the bathroom renovation, it was 3.5 months of very hard work. And so I was after that project, I was like, I need like a 2 week break. And
Yeah.
so I like took a break. I mean, it wasn't really a break. I was like just not working on a project. I was like
Okay.
editing videos and doing
Yeah.
research and stuff. And then that turned into like 5 weeks because I realized I wasn't ready for my next project yet. Like
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't done enough research on my next project and
Yeah.
figuring things out for that. And so then I was like kicking myself because I was like, you wasted 5 weeks. Like this can't happen. That's not
Mm-hmm.
okay. And then I was like, well, I have been working. I have been
Yeah.
editing videos. I have been preparing for the next project and doing all this research and, designing the space and everything. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
constantly telling myself that even though it's not traditional work in a sense, like it's still work. But then that taught me, okay, I need to be planning for my next project while I'm working on my current project. Like
Right.
so I can go from project to project more smoothly without a
Mm-hmm.
ton of time in between. So that was like a big learning lesson for me was like, always be thinking of the next one so there's not
Right.
time elapsed.
Yeah. And I mean, that's also a huge pressure to yourself as well of, okay, here's this project that I'm working on. Because although corporate burnout exists, so does creative burnout.
Yeah.
And your creative fuses, like if you're always burning them, like you are doing a very physical, intensive job
Hmm.
of going and doing DIY, renovations, installs, all of those fun things. Plus, you're also utilizing your brain to, okay, I need to do the research on this, and I need to also create video, and I need to put the phone here, and I need to record from this angle, and I need to make sure that I do the before and the after. And there's so many different aspects that you're utilizing your brain, your body. So a break is needed,
Hmm.
but also at the same time, like, you just said, if you're taking a break, how are you moving on to the next project? How are you keeping the ball rolling? How are you keeping that backlog of content?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been hard to it's been harder than I thought to figure out. Like when I always envisioned the day I would get to do this, I didn't think any of those things. And I feel like that's the case with like a lot of business owners, right? My friends just opened up a chiropractic office here in Denver, and the opening kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed because of all
Mm-hmm.
these external factors that happen. Like things just happen, and you just have to roll with it and learn from it. And so that's what I'm just
Mm-hmm.
trying to take these opportunities as, is like, all right, you made that mistake. Do it differently next time. So now I'm
Yeah.
working on this project. Now I'm already thinking about the next one because I know to do that. So
Yeah.
it is constantly just kind of figuring things out along the way.
Yeah. And obviously, like for me, tangible results make me feel really confident and really accomplished. What has been your favorite, most rewarding project that you've done to date so far?
The bathroom. Yeah. Yeah, that darn bathroom. I
Yeah.
It was our guest bathroom, and after I finished it, I
So,
told
not
my
even your own bathroom that you use
no.
every day.
No, and you know what's funny? We could use this bathroom every day, but I'm like, it's so beautiful, don't even use it. Which
Yeah.
is like the sad part. No, but after I finished that project, I did tell my husband, I was like, you better like our bathroom because I'm not doing another bathroom for a long time. Like, but it was so rewarding because it was the
Mm-hmm.
first project I've done where I ripped everything out. I ripped that bathroom
Yeah.
down to the studs. Like everything in that bathroom is brand new and curated and designed and literally made by me. And so that
Yeah.
was a very proud project for me.
Do you ever just sit in there sometimes and just like
Yeah.
bask in its glory?
Yeah, I do just go stand in there. I like, no one was allowed to shower in there until I showered in there. Like it was a whole thing. So
Yeah.
I like we had a barbecue. I like debuted it to all our friends. I
I
was like,
love
all right,
that.
you have to go look at the bathroom now because everyone heard me, talk about it for so long. I had the
Yeah.
door closed, like people had to open it very dramatically. It was a whole thing. I
Have
was very
a
proud of it.
red carpet up to the door.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was very proud of that project. It was the largest project I've ever done, and it was the first one after losing my job. So it was really quite the bang. So I'm really proud of that one.
Yeah. And if you were to recommend for someone to get started on a DIY project where like I'm scared to touch electricity, I'm scared to touch plumbing, where would you recommend starting? Of like, okay, this is a pretty safe room to go ahead and try stuff
Yeah.
out in.
I would say definitely don't start with plumbing. Only do things you're comfortable with is like what I say. Like
Mhm.
everyone has their comfort level. So for me, I won't touch electricity. Like if there's
Mhm.
electrical work that needs to be done, I'm either hiring for it or my husband's doing it. I refuse to touch
Okay.
electrical. Um, the plumbing, after the research, I felt comfortable doing it, so I did it. But in terms of starting, I think starting with just really simple power tools is a great start. A miter
Mhm.
saw is like you can build so much with like just a standard miter saw. Even just like you can build a picture frame. You could
Mhm.
build like a little end table. I did a lot of end table shelves, like floating shelves on the walls. Those are super easy. Just like start very basic and low key, and like whatever your comfort level is what I think people should start with. Like, do I recommend diving right into like renovating your bathroom? Probably not. There maybe should be some other things that are done before then. But
Yeah.
I think it's very like this behind me is a Murphy bed with like these built-ins.
Oh,
I think
gorgeous.
this is pretty, this is like a very easy project, I would say. Like I would say a beginner could do something like this.
Mhm.
Um, And so it's just starting with where you're comfortable, but starting
Yeah.
small is always key.
Yeah. And so obviously different projects require different tools, but starting out, what tools did you have and what tools do you think that every beginner needs?
I didn't have any tools. I called my father-in-law and said, "Can I borrow your tools?" And he brought them over when I built that table. And then once I started doing it more, we bought our own. But a miter saw is a great start. You can cut most things on a miter saw. Also, people always say like, I don't have, if you get big sheets of plywood, people are like, I don't have
Mhm.
a way to break those down. Home Depot will cut them for you. Home Depot
For
and
free?
Lowe's. Yes, if you have
The
the sizing.
Joannes of hardware. Who
Yes,
knew?
I know. If you have like the sizes you need and you can't because plywood is huge, it's 4 feet by 8 feet. If you can't
Yeah.
cut that down yourself at home, most people do not have, I just got the tool to do that myself like last year. Most people don't have the tools to
Wow.
do that. Home Depot cuts it down for you. Ask them to do it. Like I always
Yeah.
tell people that. Those are, but like top three tools, I would say like a drill, a miter saw, and then a pocket hole jig. I think you can build almost any furniture with those three tools.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously there's some tricks of the trade, like what you just said with Home Depot and Lowe's. What are some other tricks of the trade that you learned while doing this? Of like, wow, I wish I really knew this when I first started.
Don't fall into the trap of buying every tool you see on the internet. I definitely did that when I started. I was like, I'll buy all these tools. I
Mm-hmm.
use like the same three or four tools for every project. Like there are some tools I haven't touched in years, and I'm like, I need to sell those, like, and get
Yeah.
rid of them. But yeah, there is this whole thing in doing DIY and home renovation where it's like, people are like, you need this and you need that, and you
Right.
don't. Start very basic. You can do what you need with very basic beginner level tools, and you don't need the best brand. You don't need the highest quality. Like if you have a budget, definitely stick. I'm always looking at like what is the more budget friendly tool because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, they all function the same. Like
Right.
there's so many traps that people get caught in. Just I mean
Mm-hmm.
like in any space and buying anything, but yeah, stick to the basics. Don't fall to the traps of buying more. Keep it cost effective. Home Depot and Lowe's, like great employees there, great helpful people there, and they will like always advise you on what to buy, and they'll cut your lumber. So
That's amazing.
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, Kelly, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story and all of your insights about home renovations, DIY projects, and also content creation because that's a huge part of what you do. Do you have anything else that you want to share about DIYing or about yourself before we share where everyone can find you?
No, I just like I love talking to you. Thank you so much. I could talk about this stuff all day. So I just like I said, my main goal in all this is to show people that they can do it too. And I hope if people find me, they realize that. And I hope if anyone's watching this that wants to do DIY, they know that they can do it too.
Yeah. And that's part of the power is knowing that you can do it and knowing that somebody else has done it and that you're not the first one pioneering this. You're not inventing the wheel.
No, and it's so satisfying when you like tackle your first project yourself. It's so satisfying.
And that's the truth. I remember the first engineering project that I did, and I still had it's a shower diverter valve, and I got it manufactured, and I still have it on my desk over in my office. But yeah, it is something that I have been proud of ever since that I made it. Do I use it ever? No. Is it just this thing that sits on my desk? Yes. Am I very proud of it? Absolutely.
Exactly. I love that. See? It's like it's you have to be proud of yourself. Like that's what matters most.
Yep, 100%. Well, again, Kelly, thank you so much for coming on. If you'd like to please share where everyone can find you on social media and wherever else, please let us know.
Yeah. My handles on all social medias is Waterfall Woodworking. So everyone can find me there.
Perfect. Amazing. Well, Kelly, thank you so much. And as soon as I get all of my content scheduled, I will let you know when this episode will air.
Awesome. I can't wait. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Consider the Source podcast. If you're not already, please make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure to check us out on YouTube because the videos do get posted there every Wednesday. And then if you haven't already, make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you leave a 5-star review. Make sure that you're following me on social media at Sarah Smiles Network everywhere. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, and make sure to tune in next week for another episode of the Consider the Source podcast. Bye.